Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going better than fantastic and your journey to self-betterment is going better than fantastic as well. And again, part of that self-betterment is learning and knowing new things about ourselves. And things. Important things about others. And the reason is that those of us that know about narcissism, and especially those that don't know about narcissism, and how narcissists tick, we all can be fooled by the tricks, half-lies and manipulations of a narcissist. And we see it happening every day, not just in our personal life, but also on the world stage. And using the world stage as a perfect example, the same lies have been told to the people over and over. But a lot of people in society still support these individuals. Why? Because they see others in society doing the same. And they don't want to be left out and they don't want to be mocked. You see, this is a big truth that we need to look at. And if that truth is ignored and not worked on properly, it can lead you into poor life choices and not so good thinking. Many of you that know my work and have watched a lot of my videos, you will probably remember me giving me this analogy. But it's fitting for the individual life choices. And how narcissists target you. And get you to throw away your life and blessings. And it's in my opinion a big reason as to why marriages are not doing so well these days. A reason why a great many people are avoiding marriages these days. And a possible reason why divorce is on the rise. And those of you that haven't heard this example, please understand before I give this example. I fully understand and talk about how narcissism completely affects both men and women, in my humble cartoon opinion the same. I think the problem is because most narcissists don't see honest help and therapy for a diagnosis. And they thrive on not being detected. The chances of ever getting a real number of what is going on, at least today, is very slim. However, what we can do is go on what we see here on the variety of channels. And you see both men and women talking about their experience almost at the same rate. And that in itself should be enough for someone to draw a conclusion that narcissism affects both men and women pretty much the same. The only differences is how society treats both men and women narcissists. What can one get away with that the other can't? So forth and so on. I say all of that because I am giving an example using a common thing that happens in my opinion to women that get led down this life of narcissism or being a narcissist light. And it's one I've given before. But I think it warrants talking about it again. Because I think it can help both men and women see what is really happening in society. Both on a small level and on a super high big level. The game is usually the same. It's just played in different settings with different tools and slightly different outcomes. Anyway, the story is this. You have a man and woman. Let's say they meet when they are both young. They both work at the mall. They work at different stores but at the same mall. They seem to be a great match for each other. And they seem to be growing together in a good way. Then something happens. They both tire of their mall jobs. And they both try to get into the office world. So now they are no longer working at the same place. Before many days when their schedule matched, they would have lunch together. They would carpool together to and from work. They were together a lot. And contrary to what you are told now, a lie in my opinion from societal narcissists that want to create division within relationships before they have a chance to go to the next level. And they do that by telling people it's good to spend most of your time apart if you want to have a happy relationship. Such as traveling but leaving your husband or wife at home. by having hobbies that have nothing to do with your husband or wife. So forth and so on. And if one takes such advice, you will likely spend a lot more time around others and not much time around your husband or wife. And likely you will fall out of love with your husband or wife. And you will fall for someone else as a result, thus breaking up your relationships that could have been a good relationship. But you took advice from societal narcissists. But back to the story. You both get jobs trying to work your way up in different companies. So you may only see each other when you wake up in the morning. And when the day ends and you both arrive home. Not like the good old days, right? Well, ladies, here is what happens sadly to many of you good ladies on the job. And I'm sure you've had it happen. And can relate. At least many of you anyway. And I myself have seen it time and time again. This woman that is in a solid relationship with someone she's either dating seriously, on the way to marrying, or they might have already gotten married. I can almost bet you, someone is going to see this in you, and will show up pretending to be your new work friend, and with a lot of love bombing, making you feel like you have a new bestie. They will slowly try to trick you into thinking you settled down too young, that your husband doesn't make enough money, that you haven't traveled enough, and that you haven't experienced enough men to know truly what you want. And they will work on you in such a way that it won't ring any alarm bells in your head that this person is evil and just trying to split you up with your boyfriend or husband. But it will seem as if they really care about you. And the reason why this example is so important is this is a trick that works again and again and again and again. It's almost like going to a fishing farm for a narcissist. You just drop your pole and 1 second later you have caught a fish. In this case, this narcissist woman at this company has likely done this trick to dozens if not 100 other unsuspecting women. Now us taking a look at it, we can see it for what it is, right? This individual isn't concerned about this new woman at work having a better life. She's not. Because she knows the outcome. That this once innocent type 1 man or woman will be turned quite possibly into a liar. A cheater. Dating several men at a time to gain so-called life experience. And before you know it, this woman is twisting in the wind. Unfulfilled. Extremely unhappy. And all she now has is narcissism. Just like the so-called friend that brought her into this lifestyle. And this can happen in a great many examples, and you can swap the genders. Meaning it can happen to both men and women. But the end goal is the same. They. Meaning the narcissists want to trick you out of being you. And I use this example because, just like I mentioned how these people in society support complete and utter liars that keep saying they are going to help the community and never do. Well, I see women sadly trust other women that just want to ruin their lives. You know, what I get from watching a lot of these high-value men shows is the sadness of the lies that women have been fed over the years. I don't agree with everything these men on these shows say. However, I can spit out the bones and get the meat that is digestible. And the meat that is digestible is sadly a great amount of women have been lied to, so these women will walk down a road of destruction and they will ruin their own lives. And this is a prime example of a narcissist wanting to turn others into narcissists. When you think about such things, you can think about it in a movie like Happening. Because there is a lot of gray area that happens in people's lives that takes them down such roads. But the first thing to know is that though there are decent people in the world, not perfect, flawed people, but people with love in their heart trying to do the right things, let's just say. But trust and believe. These decent people respect. They respect boundaries and people that have them. Look. If you are a lady in such a situation and you meet a new woman at work, and she says, "Hey, what are you and your husband doing tonight? I was going to put some extra food on my new grill. I would love to have you both over for dinner. This is a good sign that at least for now, she respects you and your husband's relationship. Or if she asks you to meet her at a bar, and you say, "I'm sorry but I don't go to such places unless I'm with my husband. But I would be happy to meet you at a coffee shop in the afternoon sometime." Now if this person respects your boundaries, they might say as such, "Wow. That's so cool. You two must be in love. That's good to have such established boundaries." But if they give you a hard time, they say negative things about these boundaries that you have, and possibly putting the blame on your husband for these boundaries, this is a person that doesn't respect you. They don't respect your relationship with your husband, and they don't respect your boundaries. But the problem is, for one, they likely love-bombed you into thinking they were the best friend on planet Earth. So it's hard to get mad at them for acting this way towards you. But the other reason is, people like to follow what others are doing, even if it's something that's not productive or good for you or your relationships. Now going back to the world stage. There is a lot, and I do mean a lot, happening in the world these days, right? But we've gotten to a place to where a great many people have held up certain leaders and decision makers as being the best of the best, I guess. No matter what horrible, and I do mean horrible, things that they are doing and decisions that they are making, you can't come out and say it because it's not popular to talk about this person or the people around this person that is making such decisions. And when you get to a place as a society where this is happening, you can convince almost anyone to walk the way of the narcissist, because you don't want to seem like a bad person for speaking your mind. Well, look back at your last narcissistic relationships. No matter you be a man or a woman. Why did you stay? Seriously. Why did you stay? Yes. I know. Poor boundaries. The love bombing got your brain chemically addicted to this narcissist. And the list goes on and on. But the simple truth was, you just couldn't say no even though you might have wanted to. You see, despite the love bombing and all of that, there were times in the beginning, especially after they purposely let their mask slip in front of us, we questioned whether or not we should break up with this person. Our gut picked up on this negative thing in this new person. Yet we stayed. And yes, it does have to do with our upbringing. No doubt. No doubt. Lack of boundaries. Being codependent. But the fact of the matter is, no matter what you are, most people, not all, but most people don't like to rock the boat. Most people don't like to go against the grain. And narcissists know that. They love putting you in a situation where telling them no or trusting your gut, at least in the beginning stages of getting to know them, is really hard for you to do. This is why I say, narcissists don't show up on day one, getting in your face screaming and carrying on. Now, are there not so well-trained narcissists out there that do this? Yes. Yes, there are. But a great many have a plan of action. A great many blend in society. But look at what's going on in the world. And all of the horrible decisions that have been made in the last little bit of time. And you don't hear people talking in the street about it? A little bit here and there. But nothing big. Not like when it was happening to certain leaders, where it was popular to say something negative. This person could do something bad, and you would hear about it several times from people you might have encountered that day. The one that has been held up and you were told that you must support. Tons of bad things happen. And the average person is quiet. This should be telling on how the human being reacts to things. People don't like to rock the boat. They don't like to go against the grain. And narcissists can get you to throw away your life and go the way of narcissism. Simply because you lack the ability to say no when it matters the most. Sure, you can say no to simple things. But when you are put on the spot, it becomes super difficult for most, if not all of us. Again, using the work example and the two women. The married woman and the narcissist woman that is trying to convince this married woman to go out to ladies' night out or happy hour or whatever. The woman that is on the receiving end won't likely jump to say yes. She will likely feel uncomfortable inside as she knows it's wrong. But she is having a hard time saying no because she doesn't want to seem not independent. Or whatever enough. And she quite simply doesn't want to get made fun of by her work peers. Peer pressure is very real and it doesn't go away once you get older. And narcissists of all types know how to use it. Again, look at the world stage. There isn't a lot of people speaking up. Quite simply because they don't want to get labeled things that aren't true about their character. And by doing this, narcissists have created their own fishing farm, so to speak. They can at will drop their pole in the water and have a flopping fish on the hook within seconds. No matter if we are talking about the world stage, or if we are talking about one-on-one relationships. Narcissists create the environments where it's easy for them to hunt, so to speak, and do what it is they do. How do you defeat this in a way? You really come to terms with the gray areas in which these narcissists operate. And the things the narcissist preys upon. To get you to do what it is they want you to do. Talk with your spouse. Both you men and women. And it might be the opposite. Meaning your husband meets a new guy friend that wants to go places that he shouldn't be going. Or like I mentioned earlier, where a woman is asked by her so-called girlfriend to go here and there and places that aren't good to maintain a long-term relationship with someone you love. Talk to your spouse and work out things that you can say and do. Where you both can say no when someone is trying to lead you down this road. And if you are just starting out in a great relationship, even more so. You both need to have this talk. Because though things are going great today, please know the wolves are going to come out doing their best to destroy your life and to get one of you at least to go down the road of the narcissist. And again, we see it in society. Because people don't want to get labeled by speaking what they know is the truth. They would rather wag their finger, knowing they are wrong, while still wagging their finger at other innocent people. But they do it because it's popular. And they don't want to get labeled by not doing what these people that are mostly narcissists are asking you to do. You see, the reason why things are going the way they are going in this world is because people have believed the lie. Heck, they believed many lies. And those telling the lies know how human psychology works. And they know if they create such a stage where it's not popular to say no, or whatever, these evil geniuses have a great chance at having decent people becoming morally bankrupt and going along with evil for the sake of fitting in. And that's what you have, ladies and gentlemen. You have millions of people trusting the words of narcissists and narcissism simply because it's been popularized as something good instead of what it really is. Evil. And this is important because there are some decent people with big hearts in the world. And my hope is these very people are able to avoid the lies and manipulation of the narcissist. And they can grow. And the good they do can spread. Well, that's all I have for now. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.